In America, Rogers was no longer a subject of respect. In England, his status was different. Rogers was a household name. His fame exceeded that of any other North American, Franklin and George Washington included. But London knew little about his finances. He may have arrived penniless, but he had the ability to borrow, if not to repay. He and Potter took up lodgings in the most expensive part of London. Rogers had come bearing letters of recommendation and letters of introduction from friends and supporters. He and Potter hit the drawing room and gentlemen's club circuits, and soon were being introduced to persons of influence. The single most important of these was Charles Townshend, a member of Parliament, who was Paymaster General and the former First Lord of the Admiralty and Secretary of War. Townshend's brother Roger, an aide to Lord Amherst, died in combat during the 1759 campaign against Ticonderoga. Rogers had known Roger Townshend and undoubtedly emphasized this relationship to Charles, who became a valuable patron. Rogers and Potter also courted the press, which cheerfully broadcast Rogers' brief. In the late war, he was the first person in America who raised a body of troops at his own expense and headed them against the Indians. His regard for the welfare of his country, however, utterly exhausted his private fortune. He was retired on a captain's half pay, while persons who had once been his subordinates now held active commands with higher ranks. He had come to London to solicit some preferment from the ministry. The injustice of Rogers' situation seemed to cry out for redress, although the reported cause of his distress was fiction. One of Rogers' first tasks in London was to arrange for the publication of 2 books, his journals of Major Robert Rogers, detailing his service during the French and Indian War, and a concise account of North America, a province-by-province and colony-by-colony travelogue of British North America. The books were printed and ready for sale by September 1765. Both were reviewed favorably and helped to boost Rogers' name recognition. The well-educated Potter is widely assumed to have contributed to polishing the prose. Whatever Potter's role, the Journals is a masterpiece of understated self-promotion. Brash, egotistical, and with an inflated sense of his own merit in real life, the Rogers of the Journals is modest, unassuming, and a faithful servant of king and country, quick to credit his brave officers and men for his own underplayed successes.